I wore my lucky System of a Down t-shirt since the DMV was in Glendale. Yeah, then he tagged all the members of System of a Down. That was pretty cool.
Oh, it was nice of them to help him study.
He said
you can only turn right when you know that it's clear. Turn right now, you better turn right. Turn right this second, better turn right.
Turn right, you better turn right. You better turn right. Slow down, yield. Let people yield. Never park in a red zone.
Old lady in the crosswalk, why are you taking so long?
You have to let the lady step up on the curb.
I think they may have a second income coming in.
Oh, yeah. 25 in the school zone. 25 in the school zone. 25 in the school zone.
System of a Down traffic school. And pizza.
Everybody listen to Darren Carter. Yeah. We all know he's the party starter. So if you want to listen to a podcast for free, then listen to a pocket party. Pocket party. They're wrong.
And we're back. How are you guys? It's Darren Carter, the party starter, host of the Pocket Party Podcast. Thanks again for coming back, or if it's your first time here, thank you. If you guys get a chance, hop on over to Apple and give us 5 stars in a review. It helps so much. Hey, this is Joshua from DC. I saw you in Iowa. Great show and great podcast. Yes, I read all the reviews. If there's a new one, I'll read it. I'll even give you a shout out, so that's cool. Darren Carter, one of the kindest spirits, is one of the most legit performers. The man is a self-party starter, has the best collection of friends and experiences upon which to draw upon. If I had to describe him in one word, that is friendly. That's very nice. The man writes, produces, and delivers. I remember seeing him perform at the Beverly Hills Friars Club on a Ari David show, and I met my best friend in comedy, Mr. James Price Jr., a.k.a. Fat James, who was on that show, but was too fat to take the steps, so we took our chances on the elevator, and it was one of the funniest shows I ever went to. Darren is someone you can share this catalog of work to a friend, and your friend will thank you for it. We need more guys like Darren in comedy, but there is only one, so you better recognize. Also, he's a great character actor, and his time is going to come because the man has put in the work and dispenses original comedy, and he makes it look easy, and it ain't. Cheers. That was Fig90. Fig90. Thank you so much, Fig90. That was very nice. Probably should have read that first before I wonder if he was roasting his buddy. Going up the stairs. All right, we're going to call Mr. Mike Black. Where are you, Mike? Here we go. Mike Black. This guy is great. He knows so much about pop culture. He's always funny. He's a regular at the Comedy Store. And here he is, the one and only Mike Black.
Woohoo!
Yeah.
Yeehaw!
Yeah. Howdy there, partner. You're on a wagon wheel of biscuits. And how do you say that again?
The gravy train with biscuit wheels.
That's funny. Hey, I want to give a shout out to my son, Austin. He...
also known as
AusTheBassBoss. He is 15 and a half. I'm going to read this exactly how he wrote it. Check this out. If you go to any of our Instagrams, you'll see it, but go to his, AusTheBassBoss. He wrote, "Guess who just passed a driver's written test at the DMV on the first try? Being only 15 and a half, I still have to wait 6 more months to get my legit driver's license. I wore my lucky System of a Down t-shirt since the DMV was in Glendale." Yeah, then he tagged all the members of System of a Down. That was pretty cool.
Oh, it was nice of them to help him study.
He said
you can only turn right when you know that it's clear. Turn right now, you better turn right. Turn right this second, better turn right.
Turn right, you better turn right. You better turn right. Slow down, yield. Let people yield. Never park in a red zone.
Old lady in the crosswalk, why are you taking so long?
You have to let the lady step up on the curb.
I think they may have a second income coming.
Oh yeah, 25 in the school zone. 25 in the school zone. 25 in the school zone.
System of a down traffic school and pizza. Remember, like
Oh, yeah.
all the old traffic schools had like comedy and pizza.
Let us amuse you. Get it, like lettuce and then amuse you. Oh, dude, they had all that, man. There was I taught traffic school for about 3 years.
Oh my God! Why? Why would you do that?
Well, I'll tell you why. Back then, it was easy, dude. It was easy money. I did it. It was $125 cash, so you got paid like every Saturday. It was like a gig. It was like an 8-hour gig. It was actually,
Yeah. That's what I was like. $125 is not enough to bomb for 8 hours.
Well, it was. I did it right before I moved to LA, so I could save to move to LA, and then I moved it and then I did it when I first moved to LA, and then you're right, then you get burned out. I actually really enjoyed it for about, out of the 3 years, I probably enjoyed it for maybe 2 years, because like the first 6 months were hard because it's all new and you don't really got and then the last 6 months you're just burnt out and you've seen everything and you're just like, yeah, boy.
Yeah, I remember having to go after I'd only been doing comedy about like 5 years, but I had to go to one of those traffic schools, and the guy I got was a newer comic than I.
Oh no!
And he was pitting really badly. He wore like a nice shirt and everything, and just had huge sweat stains. And after each joke, he would he'd be center stage, and after each joke or point that he made, he would like shake his head and walk away. And it was so hard to not heckle him. I was like, as a comic, you don't ever want to heckle another comic, no matter how bad they are. But boy, I was fighting that harder than anything in my life.
Oh my gosh, I get it. It's like, yeah, because I remember they had me watch other instructors just to kind of get the rhythm of it, and some of them are so corny. Like they were like, I've gotten tickets too. One time I was going 69 and a 35. All that kind of stuff,
Yeah.
What does stop mean? It means slow to observe police. And then you spin tires on pavement.
I would barf on my desk.
Yeah, it was all that. And I remember the first guy I watched train was in San Diego.
Uh-huh.
That's where I was living at the time. So, and by the way, I never taught for any of these comedy clubs, so I wasn't part of the Improv or the Ice House or any of these places that did. It was just
where the real money is.
Where the real money. No, I don't even know. I don't know. Yeah, probably right. Where the real money and opportunity and stage time. Yeah.
Before you do it, they're like, "Welcome to the dance, son."
Yeah, exactly. I did it for
everybody gets invited.
Yeah, I did it more of like the minor league traffic school instructor. Yeah, it was like a bringer show. No,
God, could you imagine?
Oh,
the worst bringer show of all time.
Oh no. But so, anyways, the guy that I observed, he was actually really good because it's San Diego, so it's like Navy, it's like military culture a little bit. And this guy was in the Navy. He was in the Navy, and he was an instructor in the Navy who was also like getting into comedy. And so, but he was a funny guy, and he was from the South, and he had this really comedic delivery style. I think he kind of was very influenced by Jeff Foxworthy and Bill Engvall. He was kind of, doing his imitation of them, kind of. But it was good though, and in the traffic world or whatever, he was really good. I remember like him talking, and because he was already like a public speaker in the Navy for 20 years. It'd be like if you went to a Tony Robbins seminar, and then Tony was like, "Hey, Mike, you come up here and motivate the people," even though you might, and that because he let me do a guest set in the traffic school. And dude, talk about bombing. I bombed. It was like they were into this other guy's rhythm, and he was really like it's just informative and funny and like, but more informative. And I went
also, if you put yourself in their shoes, they're like, this counts as our time, right?
Yeah.
Like, we're not doing 8 hours and 5 minutes for this guy.
For this schmuck who's going to come in and lighten the mood with his comedy. It's like,
I would slit your throat if
oh,
if they were like, oh, that guy, Garen's time didn't count.
Oh, yeah, here's a bonus, you guys. No, F the bonus. Just get me out of here.
A
3:30.
comedian was killed with a plastic butter knife.
Oh, I know. It was. I think. Yeah, right. Because I didn't go there like right when they first started. I was probably 3.5 hours into the class already. And then I jumped.
Yeah.
He's like, "You guys want to see? You guys want some? He's a real comedian. He introduced me as a real comedian." But I don't think they didn't like me more at all.
Right? They're like, "What is going on? Why is this happening?"
I know, and I was like, "Ugh." And that's
Are
when
we being punished?
Yeah, talk about pitted. I was like, my arms were sweating. I was very. But let's talk about the good years of traffic school. The good years were.
I marvel at the idea that there were good years of.
So the venues were really strange too. It wasn't like I said, because it wasn't at the Improv. Like I actually went to traffic school as a victim or as a customer or whatever. You know? I got one of those red light camera tickets and I had to go to the Hollywood Improv and I went to the traffic school. And so I got to see what what that was like. And there's a lot more teaching and than you would imagine. Like, today we're going to learn the safety of seatbelts. And you're just like, oh gosh, we already know this. So when I was teaching, or whatever you can call it.
Whenever they did that, I would look around in class and go, which one of you assholes doesn't know how to use the
Exactly. I mean, our venues were weird. It was like you'd be like at Emma's Pancake House out in, Santee, California, or you'd be at the Hilton Garden Inn in West Covina, or you'd be, and then sometimes I get closer to like, it'd be like Encino, California at the Chevy's Mexican restaurant, or you'd be at, these kind of places. Or there was another restaurant had a banquet room up in La Cañada, and sometimes I teach in Glendale at the Elks Lodge or whatever, and it was interesting. What was great about the quote good years of when I first moved to LA, I got to get to know the people of LA, and they would tell me, because I would really encourage like small talk, so I didn't have to go through that thick DMV guidebook.
Yeah.
One of the big tricks I would do is I'd say, all right, we're going to go around the room. Give us your name, I do air quotes, your alleged violation, your current occupation, and what you like to do for fun. And sometimes that would chew up 2 hours.
Fuck.
Yeah, they'd be like, oh, my name's Larry, and I'm a producer. I work on Mad TV or whatever. Because every now and then you get someone in the industry,
right? Then you start to razzle dazzle.
Oh yeah, time to
for 6.5 hours.
I know, 6.5 hours. Like me, cast me. No, I would. Oh god, that would be so annoying. But and then you get people that would, I remember one time there was this really, I don't know if he was rich, but he was in there for speeding in his Porsche, and he's in his Porsche, and older guy, and then there was like a young, lady in her like mid-20s, and she was like, "I've never been in a Porsche." And then I remember when we broke for lunch, like he's like, "You want to go for a ride?" And like, "Sure." And I think so they had like a very happy
and they
lunch.
Never came
back.
They
probably never came back. I don't remember if they came back or not, but yeah. But I'm so happy that Austin got his. He studied for this test and he passed it the first time. And they ended up taking his picture. They did take his photo
for the written test, right?
Yeah, for the written test. So now my wife has signed him up for like training, DMV training lessons at the AAA or whatever. So he's gonna get to drive in the car with
a really old guy.
A really old guy who's got a steering wheel and brake on his side of the car.
I haven't used AAA in about 5 years, but I still get a message that's clearly written by the oldest man in the world wanting me to come back.
Come back.
We sure would appreciate it if you'd come back. We all miss you here at the office.
Oh man. Well, you're lucky that you've never had to use AAA in a while, because I never let my payments lapse, because if you have to get towed or something, it can be quite expensive.
Yeah, I figure it's going to be expensive either way, and I'll just rejoin AAA when that happens.
Oh, that's true. Hey, I'm rejoining on the spot. Hey, by just coincidence, I just happen to have a flat tire.
Yeah. Yeah. I tell them, that's how I joined the first time. I was like, hey, I have a flat tire. Can you guys do anything? They're like, if you pay us $20, we can. Okay, great.
Oh, okay. I'm a member. Yeah.
That beats the tow price,
That's
But
good.
yeah, I have a feeling it'll kind of be like in Kingpin, where Woody Harrelson hadn't paid his bowling dues in
Yeah.
like 20 years. And he's like, they were like, we can't let you compete until you pay your outstanding dues. Oh, how much do I owe? Oh, let's see. They do the calculator.
Yeah.
$12.55. 20 years of professional bowling dues.
Oh man, hey, I felt like a real dad a couple of weeks ago. Even though I am a dad, but I felt like like a quote dad. Like my son, his friend had a birthday party at a bowling alley, and some of the kids just weren't that good yet. They were kind of dropping it from waist high, boom, 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 that kind of thing, and
Yeah.
or they'd walk up to the line and then just like push it. And I don't even know if I'm giving good techniques, but I thought it's got to be better than what they're doing. And I was like, you want to start back here, take about 3 steps, and then roll it and kind of follow through with your hand. Let your hand follow through. And a couple of them listened, and I don't know if they bowled any better, but I felt like, yeah, that's what I was born to give bowling advice. I'm a dad.
Your thumb should be pointing directly the direction you want to go when you release.
Yeah. So right there, it was kind of funny because one of the kids was, he saw me and he follows me on Instagram and stuff, and he goes, oh, there he is, the man, the myth, the legend, Darren Carter, the party starter. And I was like, hey, and then he goes, I like my women like I like my, and then he starts jumping in with wanting me, and then all of a sudden it was like, it's one thing when you're at a comedy club or it's online,
Right. It's
but
like,
you're
no pizza for you, Billy. Let's calm down.
yeah, teenage birthday party. The first one he said was push-ups. And I was like, a regular, whatever. I didn't want to say it. And then this next one was swimming pool. And I'm like, okay. Like, I go, that's great that you know that. And I just changed the topic.
Cold and shallow.
Yeah, exactly. I could have said that because what I was thinking was open to the public. Yeah.
Disinfected regularly.
Exactly. What does that mean, Mr. Carter? Here's some more bowling instruction, my boy. Yeah. That was funny, but what's cool about the DMV is they let you put. Well, I know, right? My son got a real taste of rudeness yesterday. They said this lady was double masked, so it was already hard to understand her. She had a very thick accent, and she really wanted to get out of there. And then there was like this time, like my wife came over prepared. My wife is so prepared. Everybody's prepared. As you can tell, my son aced the test.
Yeah.
But the lady was behind trying to give, and she was sort of like, she's like, there's not enough time to take the test. Not enough time. And they made an appointment at 3:50, and then you had to be out of there by 4, or you can stop taking, like nobody can take the test at 4:30. If you don't make it by 4:30, you can't take it, supposedly.
Right.
And the lady was like, she was just giving them a real hassle. And it's like, finally the security guard came over and was very friendly and was like, oh, we'll help you, and helped out. So it worked out good. But it was like, man, that DMV, they get their bad reputation for a reason, man.
Yeah.
My son overheard them saying, like, because I guess the thing is closed at 5:30, and he overheard her say it, tell her fellow employee, like I want to be out of here by 5.
Yeah, I don't blame her.
Yeah.
When you think about it, you and I we have jobs that are highly social, where I would say in a week, we probably interact with 50 to 100 strangers that like come up to us after a show or talk to us or whatever.
Yeah.
In Los Angeles, it's a mix of people that live here and tourists. And we're seeing them kind of at their best and also kind of at their worst, where they're like a little bit drunk and,
Yeah.
And that's fine.
I feel like that what you're about to say could be the same thing for strippers.
Sure.
Candy, we're seeing our customers at their best and kind of at their worst.
Yeah. Anyone working a night job has a similar sort of thing like that that's public, However, what they're seeing is everybody in LA at some point or another has to go to the DMV.
Yeah.
And it's always them at their worst because nobody wants to go.
I know. When I go there, I try to have the best attitude and like be.
Yeah, if you have a great attitude, they think you're a psycho. They're like, what kind of lunatic is coming in here smiling and having a good time?
I know.
This isn't the place for that.
You know, when I went to the DMV and I had a great experience. Well, most of the times, if you make an appointment, if you guys are listening, make an appointment. You'll most of the time you'll have a very good experience.
It's a much better way to go.
Yeah, bing, Mr. Carter, your test is ready or whatever. It's a lot better, you know. And yeah, I went during COVID and it was great. There was like no lines, like everybody was,
because everyone thought driving was over forever.
Yeah. And I also went like early and during COVID. Like I probably went like in April of 2020 or like when, I swear to you, I know that's when it was, because I remember I did later that day, I did a podcast with Red Band and Brian Holtzman. So I know that was early on. And I was like, dude, there's like nobody in there. It's just the employees and like maybe like one or two customers. I mean, I had the place to myself. They were actually happy because they were on the flip side of like, there was probably so bored that like, oh, finally someone comes in. And, you know, I went there and got that quote, that thing, that real ID that you're supposed to get, the real ID that you're going to need in like 5 years or whatever. You know what's interesting is that on your driver's license information, they leave it up to you to put your weight and all that kind of information,
right?
Because Austin, like I looked at his weight and I'm like, oh, it's interesting, and then I looked at mine and his height and everything, and it was kind of funny. He's getting very, very close to me. I'm like, wow, like, and then my wife was like, well, it's not really official. I mean, it is because he did it himself and he's being honest, but I'm thinking, you know what? I don't think I'm being honest with mine.
I might have shrunk a little bit.
I remember one year I had my, right after I got that real ID, I had that on the kitchen counter, like face up, because I hadn't put it in my wallet yet. And my wife saw it and she's like, what? No, what did she said something like, she goes, you weigh 100 and like because it was definitely like not what I weigh. She's like, oh, you weigh 185?
165 pounds, yeah.
And I was like, I do? Like, and she's like, well, that's what you wrote. And I go, wrote where? I don't write that. Where would I write that? And she held up the card and she's like, right here. I'm like, oh yeah. Yeah, I guess I did. I forgot I wrote that on there. I'm like, give that to me. And then she goes, you're not supposed to write down your goal weight.
I wonder if Hulk Hogan's wife ever did that to him about his arms, where he's like, I've got the 24-inch python. She's like, 24? More like 16.
I know, let's be real. And then she looks at it closer. Did you write down your goal height? I'm like, stop it. I think I rounded up. My son thinks I'm taller than I always thought I was 5'10" and a half, but we've been measuring. I'm 5'11", but that's only when you like stand up.
When you're in platform shoes.
Yeah, totally straight, standing up, stretching your neck out. Like, who does that? That's not your normal posture, I guess. But
there should be your height and your actual posture height, you know.
I know your actual, and this was the first time I actually wrote down my new hair color, and they had it as an option, bald,
yeah.
Because all my whole life it would be like red. It's very easy. Blue eyes, red hair. Blue eyes, red hair. And then it was like, do I just?
You know, how, like they should have like the color guide next to it of like dark brown and gray, and then for bald it's just a sad emoticon.
It's like bald.
Bald.
I'm bald.
Yeah, just a picture of Larry David.
Yeah, so we've been doing like a lot of practice DMV questions. I'm feeling pretty good because I was getting a lot of them right.
What was your favorite question?
Oh, simple stuff like, you know, how many, well, not simple now because I only taught traffic school, but it was to be like, how many feet should you signal? And it's, 100 feet before you're supposed to put your blinker on 100 feet and then change lanes. But you know how LA is. You do that, people are going to speed up so you can't pass.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's too aggressive. You have to keep them guessing. What I often do is I'll signal left and then go right.
Oh, shit. You're trying to juke, boom, 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 like NFL.
Yeah, it's the only way you can get into the right lane sometimes.
Yeah, no, I tend to, I always use my signal. I hate when I'm in a car with someone and they just swerve and change lanes and I'm like, you got a signal. And they're like, there's no one behind me. And I'm like, it's for the people you don't know that you can't see that are in the blind spot. You have to just do it, you know?
Yeah, and there are people like that all the time in
I
LA.
know. It's like one of my pet peeves, I guess. It's that'd be one of my pet peeves of what's one of your pet peeves that drivers do, other drivers do?
That's probably the biggest one, is them just like hiding right in the blind spot. The other one is now, like on the freeway, the lanes are so wide that someone will like chill off to the side of their lane, off to like the left side on the freeway, and you'll like look in your rear view and it looks totally clear.
Yeah.
But they're just over so far to the left that you can't see. Even if you like look left, you couldn't see them. And so then you start heading over into that lane and they start honking like crazy and you're like, Jesus, we nearly collided, you know.
I remember a guy got a ticket when I was in high school for passing on the right. And so I always remembered that. I'm like, oh, don't pass on the right. You're not supposed to pass on the right. Unless it's like a right turn lane. But like, you know how people will get impatient and they'll just like zoom on the shoulder of the road. Like, not good.
Yeah, it's like if you have to, you can do it. But it's like you have to keep in mind that mirror is so much less accurate for the driver, the one on the right-hand side, that they're not going to be able to see you. You know,
I remember one time I got a ticket for no, I didn't get a ticket. I got
passing a truck on the right is the worst. That is the dumbest idea.
Oh, I know. That's what they say. There was this Woods. I think it's called Woods Trucking up in the San Joaquin Valley up near Fresno. Up at the farm, I always see in the back of their trucks it has an arrow on the left and an arrow on the right, and on the left it says passing side, and on the right it says suicide. People do dumb stuff, man. They'll like. I remember in traffic school, like one lady got a ticket for being on the 5 freeway from LA to San Francisco, and it was a very hot day, so she was using the 18-wheeler for shade.
God,
she was like going right alongside the 18-wheeler, and she's like, "Yeah, I was using it for shade because it was very hot and I didn't have AC." And I'm like, "Oh my god,
what an idiot!"
I know, a tire blowout, something crazy. Just stay away from those 18-wheelers, man. Like.
She was basically doing like Smokey and the Bandit stuff with them, only they don't know that they're involved in it, you know.
I know. It's interesting too what for one day we got into the topic of 18-wheelers and driving, and I asked this lady, she was pretty hot too. She's like in her 20s, 30s. I don't know. She was whatever. She was hot. I know she was hot. And she said that she goes, yeah, sometimes I'll be driving because she drove a convertible, and she's like, and if I'm eating a banana, she's like, I have to wait till I get past the 18-wheelers before I start eating my banana, because you know those guys are just bored for hours on end. Just they're
good safety tip.
Hey, hot chick in a red convertible eating a banana. That's breaker 19. We got a live one right here on the
like
left.
all the guys in the class are like wiping the drool off their face.
Ooh, anybody? At break, everyone comes back with a banana.
They're telling you, they're like, look, instead of a pizza, is there any chance we could get just a bunch of bananas?
I remember one time I asked this girl, I go, hey, you ever try to turn on a truck driver? And she goes, you don't have to try to turn on a truck driver. You pretty much just have to be a female.
Yeah. They're on so much angel dust to stay awake that they're pretty much ready to go.
They're ready to go, man. But yeah, it was interesting, that he got the test, he did it, and he's ready to go, man. He's got his eyes on the prize, which is cool because they said that a lot of teenagers now, or not even people in their 20s, aren't getting their driver's license like they were back in the day. Just they're just using Uber, they're using Lyft. They have.
Yeah, it's funny. Like when we were growing up, it was probably like the big generational difference was, none of these teenagers know how to drive a stick shift,
Yeah. Oh, that's right.
And now it's none of them want to drive at all. They'd rather take a Lyft everywhere.
Oh my gosh, my first car was the worst car. I know we've talked about it, but it was the Yugo. It was. I loved it. I loved when I drove locally, like only in my hometown.
Yeah.
But once I moved away and the car problems kicked in, it was terrible. But when I was only driving like a mile to college, 3 miles here, that was no big deal. It was great to have that independence. Like, wow, like I'm actually in a car, my own car, and I have like, I remember at that time I had a tape player, and I had like, for whatever reason, I had Billy Joel's greatest hits. So I always, I always associate those memories of
Bottle of red.
yeah, tooling around,
Bottle of white.
yeah, tooling around Fresno, California in a red Yugo, and listening to Billy Joel's greatest hits.
Uptown girl.
Up. That was side B. That was the the B side. That was no. It was great. I would like drive and just it was awesome. It was that I had that cassette and the other cassette I had Bobby McFerrin. He just came out with "Don't Worry, Be Happy." So it was a lot of like woo, all that stuff.
Yeah.
Baby, you can drive my car. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Yeah, he did a cover of that Beatles song.
Bobby McFerrin did?
Yeah, yeah. Baby, you can drive my car. Ooh.
Wow.
So those are my memories of my. What your first car? Did you have any memories of listening to certain music when you were driving it around?
I got it was a Ford Probe. and I think a 98 Ford Probe. No, 90. Have to be like 96 or something.
Dude, that's good. You had a modern car.
Yeah, it was good. It was like one of those that like a rich person owned it, and then kind of they were like, I'm upgrading and selling this one for a song, and it was a nice car, but it was in Colorado weather. It needed maintenance a lot, you know. But it was cool, and they had left a Best of Joe Cocker in the cassette player because it was back when they had cassette players, and I very quickly got tired of Joe Cocker and got a lot of other music in there.
Yeah.
To the point where like my friends were like, someone's gonna break into your car if you don't start hiding your music in the trunk or something.
Oh,
so
I know. Remember those days? Now they don't really.
Started doing that.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I had like one of those big cases that held like 100 cassettes or whatever, and they were like, someone's gonna steal that just on like the college campus. Some kid will just take that, you know.
Yeah, I remember buying the club for my car. I still have my club. I haven't used it in a while, but I'm thinking about bringing it back. I saw some carjacker the other day. It was a lady high on something. She tried to carjack this old lady but luckily she had the club on her car, so the car could only go backwards and forward, backward and forward. And this lady was just banging all these cars up, bang, 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 bang.
Oh God!
Yeah, and then they finally got her out of the car and tackled her and waited till the cops came. But I'm like, oh, that's smart. She had her club on.
Yeah, I forgot about the club. Like I know I have one for my car, but I haven't used it in forever.
I feel like modern thieves haven't really seen one, so it would really throw them off the trail of like, what the hell is this relic?
Yeah, I think for a while the workaround was so easy. What I had, I got serious about it. I was like, if I'm getting one, I'm doing the right thing. I had one that went from the wheel to the brake.
Oh, dude, you got the Mega Club.
Yeah, the one that actually works, because the other one is like kind of a deterrent, but that one you can't even start anything, you know.
You want to be starting something. Got to be starting something.
Like the toughest part of the car also. So it's really hard to work around it. You can't be seated in the car to mess with it.
Yeah.
So you have to do a whole bunch of stuff just that looks suspicious to get in there that way. So if you're gonna get one, that's.
I feel like today there's no such thing as looking suspicious anymore.
Yeah, probably not. I mean,
right? I feel like people do stuff they do catalytic converter. They do it in broad daylight, and if you do look like you're being suspicious, then you might get profiled for being a quote Karen. You're like
right.
Like if you see someone like peering into a window of a car over and over, you might be like your brain goes, hey, that doesn't look right, but then you're like, I don't know if I say something, like I don't know, like maybe it's their own car, and just mind my own business. I feel like that's what society's at right now.
Yeah. I mean, it depends. If I see someone being really suspicious and just staring into a car,
Yeah. What are you gonna do, Mike Black? What are you gonna do?
I'll probably either say something or get security to say something. It's
I'll
not
be like
really my job.
Yeah.
Hey,
you looking for those Joe Cocker tapes?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, if they're looking in my car, I'm definitely going to say something.
Exactly. They're looking at my car. Can I help you? I mean, I used to look into people's cars all the time, only at my own reflection, though. Like when I had hair, I'd be like, is my hair messed up? I'd look in there. But I wasn't trying to steal anything or anything, but I was just like,
Right.
How are my red locks looking today?
Yeah, I would tackle you if I saw you doing that.
You trying to steal my Joe Cocker? No, I had a cowlick that wouldn't ruin my
Your
style.
profile, you're one of the Poison Boys, aren't you?
I'm Tahoe Joe and the Poison Boys. You got me. Have you ever had a personalized license plate? And would you ever?
No. To me, they seem really douchey. But
yeah, I'm the same way. I like my car to be pretty much anonymous. I'm not like one of those people that's like stickers all over and this is my license plate frame. And...
Yeah. Also, it's like if you do get in some sort of wreck, I'd rather them think it might have been 6'8" something, rather than just being able to go, it was Diablo.
Yeah, it was Diablo from Colorado.
Diablo 1.
It was Mike Black, bitch. That's who it was.
Right, yeah.
Mike Black, mofo. All right, let's switch gears here. I got this book, and I found it in my podcasting, where I keep all my podcasting stuff, and it says my top 10, which 10 is way too many. So let's, I'll just flip randomly through, and you could name 1, 2, 3, whatever. If you only got one, if you want to skip it, we could skip it. Let's just roll with it. Okay, here we go. Food dishes I could not live without. Name a food dish that you really just really like.
I can do 5 of those.
Oh, damn. Okay, can I go first then? Because I can only name... you go ahead.
You say that, but I could do 5 of yours probably by now.
That's true. I was going to start and say Mexican food. I love Mexican food. I could eat it 7 days a week.
Yeah. No, they're talking like a specific dish, though, from Mexican food.
Yeah. Specific dish? I would say... I would probably say burrito. Yeah, I mean, seriously, I would like...
With what on it, Darren?
Oh, chicken, like a chicken burrito with lots of lettuce and tomatoes.
And what would you add to it, though?
Gosh, I don't know. Sour cream? Cheese? I don't know.
Probably ketchup.
Oh, yeah. Tahoe Joe and the Poison Boys with our case of ketchup. Yeah. You're right. I forgot how much I love ketchup. You see that? When you say, if it was breakfast burrito, boom, I would have said ketchup. Bean and cheese burrito, ketchup.
The thing you can't live without for sure is ketchup.
That's true. That is true. And man, yesterday I had dinner at the smokehouse. We call it. I write material there with Fraser Smith. We get these luncheons, and we call it
the legendary Fraser Smith.
Legendary Fraser Smith. We don't call it the smokehouse. We call it the joke house. And they have the best cheeseburger and these steak fries, and they give you Thousand Island. And I gotta say, I noticed I had a little bit of ketchup, but I had a lot of Thousand Island, and it was ridiculous because even when I ordered a salad, the guy goes, "Did you want Thousand Island again?" And I said, "No, I better get like balsamic vinegar. I'm on a diet." And then I thought, that's ridiculous. I'm gonna have Thousand Island. I go, you know what? Just bring out the Thousand Islands.
At a fancy steakhouse, you get whatever you want.
Yeah, but, and it was pretty pointless because even Fraser was like, "Boy, you really like that sauce."
Thousand Island it's almost like you colored sauce.
Exactly. I was like, it's like if I were to be like a creamy sauce. Yeah.
I'm delicious.
Yeah, because I had Thousand Island on the salad, then they put Thousand Island.
It looks like you, and it just so happens to be like high octane ketchup. We're like, hey, isn't there a way? I know ketchup's like loaded with sugar. Isn't there a way we could make it fatter? Why don't we throw mayonnaise into the mix?
Gosh, I know. It was like Thousand Island in the salad, Thousand Island in the burger. Then they gave me a Thousand Island. It was like this Aladdin lamp looking thing full of Thousand Island.
They gave you a gravy boat full
Yeah,
of
a gravy boat full of Thousand Island, and I'm like,
Wow.
I know. It was like,
That's gonna be your thing there. It's Thousand Island Man.
yeah.
My friend, really funny comic Andrew DeWitt, uh, would just crack me up telling me about how there's a place near where he lives that knows him as the Spicy Boy. It's Chinese food, and he comes in and like they're like they see him. He grabs the sriracha and nearly empties out the bottle on his food.
Wow.
And one day the owner came by and goes, "You are the Spicy Boy."
Spicy boy. Oh yeah, when you get Thai restaurants and they go on level of 1 to 4, you want regular spicy, extra spicy, and then I remember they go, or you want Thai spicy, and my friend goes Thai spicy, and dude, his face got red, he started sweating. Yeah. I was like, wow, dude, that's like,
yeah, it's like, think it through. Do you really want that?
Yeah, unenjoyable. It's like
it depends. Like I really love spicy food, so it's kind of hard to get me on stuff like that. Like usually spicy is just fine with me. Although, gyugaku?
No.
It's Japanese barbecue. It's very similar to Korean barbecue, but they're kind of a chain now, and you grill your own meat and everything. But they have a thing. They'll bring you like marinated steaks of different kind and that sort of thing. But they had one on there that was just labeled spicy beef. Now, you know me, I'm with Tabasco the way you are with ketchup. I put Tabasco on just about everything.
Yeah.
And I get the spicy beef, and I was like, do you guys have any Tabasco or anything like that? And the guy like shook his head and was like, okay, I'll go get it. And so then I just tried a little of it, and it was steak kind of done like Philly cheesesteak, where it's like really chopped up,
Yeah.
And I took like a bite of it, and I was like, oh, this doesn't need anything. This is perfectly spicy. But yeah, so if you're into spicy food and you're ever there, get the spicy beef. It's worth it.
I got to try that. Is there one close to Burbank?
There's one in Burbank. Yeah. I want to say like Van Nuys and Ventura. You know where the El Torito is over there?
Yes.
It's in that same plaza.
Oh wow.
It's right on the corner of the strip.
What's it called again? It's such a weird name that it's
Gyukaku. GYU-KAKU.
Oh, I think I've said that. I've read that before. Oh yeah. Okay, I'm gonna learn how to pronounce that. Gyukaku.
Right.
Gyukaku.
And they have a really great happy hour, and they sometimes, depending on the availability with everything going on, they have what they call a feast. And it's like 50 different items for a certain amount of money, and then you can get like the deluxe or the ultimate.
Oh yeah, 2 barbecue items for one person, $14.95. 3 barbecue items, $18.95. Upgrade to a double portion at a value. Wow, step 1. Oh yeah, Angus beef. Yo, this looks really good.
You went to their website.
Yeah, I'm on their website. Yeah. I'm like, yikes. Oh, and it's pretty good. And it shows the calories. So you can get, it says this is only 60 calories. This is only 165 calories. That's good. They even have s'mores.
They do. Yeah, because you have an open flame grill.
Wow.
And so when dessert comes, they just remove the grill, and you can toast your s'mores right there at the table.
Wow. It's
a lot of fun if you've never been to something like that. It's worth checking out.
They have original garlic butter. Okay, I'm going to turn this off. I'm just getting too hungry.
I bet it's very similar to other places' garlic butter, but yeah.
Oh, yeah. No, we're original. Yeah.
Ours is the only garlic butter in the world.
Okay, food dishes you could not live without.
Okay, tamales.
Damn it.
Particularly
Great
the one
answer.
My mom makes.
Red or green sauce?
I tend to use both. or none.
Delicious.
Sometimes I just like none, but with
Wow.
some salt on them.
And do you go pork, chicken? Like what kind of tamales? Or does it matter?
I prefer beef, but lately I've started liking chicken a lot too. Because they're like, now I'm branching out because like, you know, I'm not anywhere near where my mom is, so I have to like get them here. And some places do really, really great chicken ones, you know. And with my mom, she would do like a blend of like pork and beef that was really, really good. But most places divide it up now. And let's see, I like those. Burritos are way up there too for me, but like I'm very simple with a burrito, just like a bean and cheese burrito.
Oh, I love a bean and cheese burrito.
I like that a lot more than pretty much any other kind, and there'll be times where I'm just in the mood for that. That's just all I want. And they you remember Chewy from the Comedy Store?
Yeah.
He used to run the parking lot. He turned me on to a place called Dos Burrito that was right next to the that theater that played The Lion King forever on Hollywood Boulevard. There was this little tiny burrito shack right next door to it, and he was like, they do gasless beans, and I was like, what do you mean? He was like, beans that won't make you gassy. And I was like, really? And I was like, how do they do that? And he goes, they cut half an onion and put it at the bottom of the pot, and it soaks up all of that. And I tried it, and I was like, I didn't get gassy, but I got heartburn like I always do. but I didn't get gassy, so that was nice. And their beans are delicious. Like, they really cook them a long time there.
You know what I've been doing, and I know this is something you do probably when you're just like, all right, I'm not trying to date. I'm not trying to, like, you know, because I remember when I was a server for like 3 months, and people would be like, no onions, please. Hold the garlic. Like, like that kind of thing. My wife has been chopping onions, and I have her chop up these onions, these raw onions. They're so good. And I mix it with hummus, and dude, like, it's so delicious. Hummus and onions, it's so good. And I feel like it's good for you. I could be wrong. I mean,
probably onions are good for you.
They're
for sure.
So good. It was, you know, and I was usually I'll do it with like carrots and celery, but the other night I heated up some pita bread. It was freaking good, man. I was like, damn, this is good.
That does sound good.
It was real. Yeah, it was a simple snack that was like, you know.
You can make pita chips real easily.
How do you do that?
In a toaster oven.
Ooh, okay, good.
You just cut it into strips and maybe, throw a little butter on there, but just let it toast up and it'll turn into pita chips real quick.
It's funny how just heating food up makes it taste better sometimes. Like I had my wife, we went to this.
Oh, yeah. If you get like hot chips and cold salsa or something. Oh, my
gosh. I know we went to this.
One of my moves, I was telling Logan Gunselman at the Comedy Store about this, because we were just talking about pizza because we were bored as shit, waiting in between sets and stuff. And I was telling her, I was like, one of my favorite moves to do if I'm like, sometimes you're just in the mood for Little Caesars pizza.
Yeah.
Like specifically. And I was like, what I'll do is I'll spend like the $1 extra and get one of those extra most bestest pepperoni pizzas. And I'll get just an order of crazy sauce, which is served cold. And it's supposed to be for the breadsticks. But I'll get that, and I'll put a bunch of like the crushed red pepper in that and mix it up, and then just dip the pizza in it. So it's hot pizza dipped in cold tomato sauce, basically. And the mixture of that is really, really good.
Nice.
I guess you could do it at any pizza place, really, but they have it set up where it's easy to do there.
Yeah. Here's another topic. Is there a rap song it's either your favorite or when you hear it, it just puts you in a good mood. You're just like, oh yeah, this song. It's like it brings back a memory, or I like it, or
Good Day by Ice Cube.
oh yeah, do, 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 do. That's a
That
good
is not
one,
how that song goes.
isn't it? Doesn't it go like this?
Oh yeah, I guess it does. It's just I never heard it done. White guy beatbox. It sounds like a totally different. I was like, is that Ice Cube or is that the opening to Mary Tyler Moore show?
Yeah. Gotta thank God. Yeah. And people are like, that's his favorite rap song? No.
But yeah, that's that song. Just part of it is because it's a very LA centric song, and yeah, just and it's a very positive song too. You know,
I think the first when I really liked like rap was or hip hop, whatever it is, they call it. I used to love it in the 80s, and then I still liked it on the radio, but I'm just not into it I don't seek it out anymore at all. But if I'm at the boxing, like I was at the boxing gym last week and I hadn't gone in like 10 months, and it was really cool to hear the songs, because man, like it really goes along, like the motivational lyrics, and then the boxing gym, and like the lyrics are like, you a bitch, I'm the best, bam, whatever. It's just like I'm just hitting the bag, like yeah, remember like the other song, back then they didn't want me, now I'm hot, they all on me. Back then they didn't want me, now I'm hot, they all on me. Yeah, Mike Jones. I'm like yeah, I'm just punching the bag, or like DMX, up in here,
yeah.
y'all gonna make me, act a fool. I'm like, yeah, make me act a fool, and I'm like hitting the bag. Although I'm getting exhausted, I'm barely able to last one round. I'm like,
acting a fool is exhausting.
I can act
takes
a
a
fool
lot out of you.
for maybe 3 minutes, and then there's no way I'm going 12 rounds acting a fool.
Yeah, yeah. My behavior depends on how much energy I've got.
Dude, it was really awakening last Thursday when I went. Like it's I've been doing my daily push-ups and sit-ups almost every day. A little bit of hiking. Although when it rained, I didn't go out as much, so I'm definitely not as in shape as I like to be.
Yeah.
But it's a total different workout. Trying to like punch a bag for 3 minutes, 30 seconds, rest, 3 minutes. It's just like you don't realize, like, man, like that's not good. I need to up my fitness level. So yeah, that was the route. Okay, let's go another one. Do you have a favorite or I know you got this. This is a movie quote do you have favorite movie? My top 10 movie quotes of all time. I'm sure you could think of at least one or two or three. Or this is your genre, movie quotes.
Yeah. It's weird. It's like there are things that are quotes, but that don't really mean anything to a lot of people, or that I appreciate, but I haven't really memorized because I like them so much. Like my favorite ones.
Yeah.
Like I don't want to ruin it by committing it 100% to memory. I like just hearing it in the movie.
Yeah.
But one of my favorites of all time is the whole speech that Rutger Hauer gives at the end of Blade Runner. And it ends with you've seen Blade Runner, right?
Probably not. I don't think I have. I mean, most things you ask me if I've seen, I probably haven't. So I'm like,
okay, to give you like the shortest possible explanation of that movie is in the future, AI has gotten so prevalent.
Wow, that's like today.
It actually takes place, I believe, in 2019. But that was like when it came out was like 1984. So that was a real distant future back then, But things have progressed so much that they have had for a while now what they call replicants, which are AI in bodies that look like human bodies.
Wow.
And they're essentially doing work that people can't do. Like they would send them out to space to do stuff, or like really, really dangerous areas to mine and stuff like that. But the AI was so good that they were basically like people and essentially just slaves. You know, they were
Wow.
like, and so when they designed them, they had a very strict set of like rules and inhibitors on them that would stop them from killing people or uprising or what have you. And they also had a 5-year lifespan.
Yeah.
So
Wow.
at 5 years, you're just done. And there's nothing, it didn't matter if you were good or bad or anything. It was just after 5 years, you're dead.
Wow.
And so they were implanted with like fake memories so that they would feel like they had a full life and everything. And so 5 of them kind of revolt. And a Blade Runner is a cop who specializes in hunting them down. And that's who Harrison Ford plays in the movie.
Wow.
And he catches this one, but the guy's already kind of close to death anyway.
Yeah.
And he gives this beautiful monologue about everything that he's seen in his 5 years.
Is this the monologue?
Try it.
I looked up something on. I don't even know if this is. I think this is the right movie. It says, "I've seen things you people wouldn't believe. Attack ships."
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
Read it.
All right.
It's not very long. You can just read it.
Oh yeah, I've seen things you people wouldn't believe. Attack ships on fire off the shoulders of Orion. I've watched sea beams glitter in the dark near the Tannhauser Gate. All those moments will be lost in time, like tears in rain. Time to die.
And then he dies.
Wow.
It's what's funny is that very last pair of lines that he says about tears in the rain. Rutger Hauer, the actor playing the part, improvised those.
Wow. That's the best part.
Yeah.
All those moments will be lost in time, like tears in rain. Time to die.
But yeah, it's an excellent movie if you've never seen it.
And I'm sure there's like a music bed, and they're probably like slowly zooming in or something like.
Well, and he's holding a dove at that time. Like
Wow.
It was one of those things that, just to display like how powerful he is and how outmatched Harrison Ford is as a regular human.
Dude, I'm thinking about bringing a dove with me on stage. Think it'd be a good move?
Absolutely.
Yes. No one's really done it. I mean, in comedy.
Yeah.
I come in peace. Fuck you. Boo. No.
Yeah, release it into the comedy club from on stage.
Look, hecklers. No. Would you rather bring a rooster on stage or a dove? Or if you could, let me ask you a question. If you could bring any bird, if you could bring any animal on stage with you, I wouldn't. But first of all, it's a terrible. Who would want to bring an animal? It'd be distracting as hell.
Yes, all of those are the correct answer.
You bring up a gorilla on stage, like. Yeah.
If I had to bring anything with me, I would want something that wasn't going to get in the way.
Let's imagine you're playing like Caesar's Palace or some giant venue, and they were like, Mike, we think it'd be really grandiose, like your opening night here, to ride an elephant.
Yeah.
Out on stage. You ride on the elephant, you get off, everyone claps, you take a bow, and the elephant continues, and then that's how you enter the stage.
Elephant continues what? Where does he go?
I don't know. He goes backstage. I think something could go wrong, though, and that's why I would be all like jittery up there.
If you're the comic on the elephant when it stampedes the audience.
Yeah, that's not good. What about this? Would you, and maybe, you know what? I think I saw a picture of you doing this. That's why maybe it came into my mind. Would you ride a giant tortoise out on stage?
Sure. That I feel like I would have a lot more control over. Yeah. But I have a feeling, though, it would like, you'd see its head at the like start of the curtain.
Yeah.
And then like 45 minutes later, you'd start to see its neck. And then like by the time you're actually even partly visible on stage, your time is over.
Time is over.
You're like, getting the light, you know.
It's crawling out there super slow.
Yeah. It's trying its best. You can't really be mad at it, but it's not going very fast.
Oh, that's hilarious. I was thinking of my favorite quote would be that motivational speech that Rocky gives, you know. Let me tell you something you already know. The world ain't all sunshine and rainbows. Yeah. I love that one.
From Rocky Balboa.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's a tremendous one.
once a year I'll play it, and it just fires me up for a couple weeks. I'm like,
one of my favorite Rocky, the series has a lot of great quotes, but one of my favorites, of course, is "We'll do it tomorrow." There is no tomorrow.
mm-hmm.
It's so simple, but it cuts through all the bullshit of like if you want to do this, then there is no tomorrow. You know?
Yeah. I like this part right here. You got to be willing to take the hits and not pointing fingers saying you ain't where you want to be because of him or her or anybody. Cowards do that, and that ain't you. You're better than that. And I'm always going to love you no matter what happens. You're my son, and you're my blood. You're the best thing in my life. But until you start believing in yourself, you ain't going to have a good life. It's like, wow. Wow.
Yeah. He doesn't really get enough credit as a writer.
It ain't about how hard you hit. It's about how hard you can get hit and keep moving forward. I love that. How much you can take and keep moving forward. That's how winning is done. Oh my gosh. You got to know how much you're worth. And wow, it's so good. Anyways, you guys go check it out. Sometimes if I'm like in the mornings or whatever, and I'm trying to, get the day started, I'll put on some good music. Or I'll put it, and every now and then I'll put that motivational, like that quote on that movie. It just kind of gets you going, man.
Yeah, it makes going to 7-Eleven a lot better.
Yeah, it makes ordering extra Thousand Island a lot better. I'm like, you know what? Give me some extra Thousand Island. It kind of matches my arms. I never thought of it like that till I did a podcast with Mike Black, but
I know what I'm worth, and I'm gonna get what I'm worth.
I'm gonna get a gravy boat of Thousand Island. Yeah. Raps. We're gonna. Speaking of rap, we're gonna wrap it up. But what did you ever get into the Beastie Boys at all?
Not really. People are gonna hate this, but I found their voices kind of annoying.
Oh yeah, that whiny kind of rap. Yeah, I know what you're saying.
Yeah.
To me, it was
like I like the lyrics of a lot of their stuff, and I got into some of their songs just because all that aside, they're really good musicians, but yeah, I couldn't listen to them all day.
Man, I think I was like 15 or 16 when License to Ill came out, and I love that album, man. It just takes me right back to the 80s, that time period.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's more like a memory thing, and it was cool, and I got it. But I could see, how about LL Cool J? Did you ever hear My Radio?
Yeah. Yeah.
That was another big one that was just like, what the hell is this? This is different than any music that I've ever heard. Like My Radio, believe me, I like it loud. So good.
Yeah, I liked stuff like that, but I was more into like new wave and like a lot of the standard 80s hits sort of stuff.
Oh, like, Mickey, you're so fine. You're so fun. You blow my mind. Hey, Mickey. Like that?
Well, more like the Police or like Elvis Costello or that kind of stuff,
Yeah, love that stuff. But hey, I want to say thank you guys for listening to another episode. We hope we made your day a little bit better. Go out and get a burrito. And next time you have Thousand Island, think of Darren Carter, the party starter. Next time you have a tamale, which I love tamales, dude. We gotta.
Yeah.
Can we get to? I'm sure we can. This is a dumb question. I know. I was gonna say,
in California? Yes.
Can we get tamales in California? No, I was gonna say, can we get them year round? I'm sure we can somewhere, but I know it's really prevalent at Christmas time.
Yeah, they're very big at Christmas, but it's generally not a seasonal dish. You can get them all year.
I know. I was asking my wife. I go, hey, can we have tamales this year? And then we started looking into it, and it was like half-hour preparation for this, 12 hours preparation for, and I'm like, oh wow.
Yeah, they take some work.
Yeah,
but like, I think they have them at like Don Cuco's.
Oh.
I don't know for sure.
I would love to grab lunch with you sometime. I wonder if we should go to like Don Cuco's or that other place you were just.
Yes. I'd down for either one of those.
Dang, I know. That Japanese place sounds really good. I would like to do that because I've been to Don Cuco's and I love Don Cuco's.
Yeah, there's let's do Gyugaku sometime then.
Okay, we'll do it, and then we'll do like we'll do a little podcast. We'll figure it out either before we eat, after we eat, while we're eating. We'll figure it out.
Yeah, that sounds like fun.
In the parking lot, we'll do a wrap up on what we thought, what I thought. That's awesome. Hope to catch you soon at the Comedy Store. And thank you again, Mike, for taking part of your day and hanging out with us.
Oh, yeah. Thanks for having me. Have a great one, man.
You too, buddy. All right, bye.
Bye-bye.
Look at you. You made it all the way through the Pocket Party Podcast. Again, thank you guys so much for sharing this podcast, for letting people know about it. Anytime you go on YouTube, leave some comments on any of my videos, the podcast videos, the stand-up videos, the shorts. All that stuff helps the algorithm. If you want to donate financially, you want to throw a little something, I'm Darren Carter Comic on Venmo. I'm on the Cash App, $ Darren Carter Comic. And if you go to DarrenCarter.com, there's a PayPal button. We do take donations, so thank you so much. All right, guys, have a great rest of your day. We'll see you later. Don't hurt nobody. Be careful.
Everybody listen to Darren Carter. We all know he's the party starter. So if you want to listen to a podcast for free, then listen to the Pocket Party.